Well, Chainlink has finally done it. After being the unicorn of the crypto market, after kind of marching to the beat of its own drum lately, Chainlink looks like it is finally giving up to the downward pressure that we're seeing consistently across crypto. And that's something we want to talk about right now. Okay, here's where we are with Chainlink. This is the daily chart that we're looking at, and you can see Chainlink, I've mentioned in my previous Chainlink videos, if you want to go back and watch them to get some historical context, is that it has been behaving differently from many of the other altcoins since November. It has been in this grinding, kind of barely rising channel up with higher highs and higher lows. That's what this channel is right here. It did make nice highs and a nice run from October to November, but then it kind of stalled. It did make a higher high in December and a higher high in January, but it did not do what some of the other coins did in December. That was skyrocket up beyond. And what I mean by that, here's ADA. Here's its November's level, and then it took off. VET, here's its November levels, and then it took off, and you can see that across many of the coins. Well, Chainlink did not do that. It kind of made its high in November and then did its own thing. I called it the adult in the room. I believe it was my last video. It was kind of, it wasn't too wild. It wasn't too crazy. It was just the suburban family investing in its 401k, doing everything right, okay? It wasn't going out and making wild moves on the weekend and regretting them later like some of these other coins have. But look, at the time of this Bitcoin, or at the time of this video, Bitcoin's at 39,700. I had been calling for Bitcoin to fall below 40,000 since the middle of January after it hit and stayed at the bottom of its own upward rising channel. I was saying that it was more than likely going to fall down to 40,000, which it has done. Took a couple times to do that, but today, for the first time since back in the 1st of December, we are under 40,000 on Bitcoin, and that's just been causing downward pressure across pretty much every altcoin. I do videos on DOT. Look at that, downward pressure falling through support. Matic, downward pressure falling through support. Let's see, ICP, I just did a video on downward pressure about to fall through support. Again and again and again, we're seeing that. Now, we did even notice yesterday, Chainlink had created its own, another kind of rising channel right here, a temporary or shorter term rising channel. But we have since broken out of that channel. And interestingly enough, these patterns are always so interesting, how they play out. Now, as of making this video, and I didn't just decide to make this video right now because I saw where the low was, but look at where the low was. Look at where the low is. It's to the penny of this line. And that doesn't mean that it's always going to be to the penny of this line. Doesn't mean this line is anything more special than other lines that can be created. It's just the patterns of the market. That there are trend lines, there are support and resistances. The markets do move in patterns. And if this was any other coin, I would say expect a drop below. I'm still going to say expect a drop below because I think Link eventually, and it already is showing some weakness, is going to give some more sympathetic moves, reflecting what these other coins are doing and reflecting the continuous pressure on Bitcoin. So yes, I do think we'll fall below. I think eventually we'll hit this 13.4, and I would almost guarantee it, not that I would guarantee anything, but I would almost guarantee it if it wasn't for Link and its ability to do its own thing. So Link could continue to do its own thing. That very well could happen. Or it could see a bounce off of here and then carry on. But unless Link should get above this level right here, which is its most recent swing high of about 16.5, unless it should get above there, then we just have to assume Link has started to enter its own downtrend, which we can see here. A high, a low, a lower high, and I don't know if we'll get a lower low, but I do think we'll get a push down here. And so I think over the next few days, few weeks, we're going to see weakness. We're seeing it across crypto. Now, let me make it clear, I am pro crypto, pro Bitcoin. I don't hold Link, but I'm very excited about the project. It seems to be doing very well. Like I said, it's kind of the adult in the room of crypto. And so I think there's nothing but good days ahead for Link in the long term, but I'm talking about short term here. I'm talking the next few days and weeks. And you guys tell me, yes, we could bounce here as we have here and have here, but I don't know that we would. Now, if Bitcoin was making higher highs, I would be like, yeah, I think we'll bounce and carry on, but not with Bitcoin making lower lows. It's just too much pressure, and you can see it everywhere you look. Just everywhere you look, there is that too much pressure. So for Link, I think we're going to experience a little bit more of a downturn. Let's see what happens in this level right here. Like I said, Link has held up so far better than, say, ADA and other coins. So I need to find out how the market's going to react around this level for Bitcoin. Are we going to stay in here in range? Are we going to bounce? Quite possible. Are we going to bounce here? I think really everybody's looking at in the crypto market, kind of standing in a circle, looking around at each other and saying, what's next? Because I don't think anyone knows what's next. I just don't think anyone knows. I do think everybody's fairly on board with the idea and have pretty much agreed to the idea Bitcoin's going to see higher highs above 50,000 sometime in 2024, but we don't know when that's going to be, and we don't know what's going to cause that push. And so until that happens, we're just sitting around naturally experiencing a correction because there's really no positive impetus to keep it going. Not that there's anything negative, there's just nothing to push us higher. And since we're so overextended, we're just gradually dropping down, and that's pulling down a bunch of other coins as well. So this is what I'm watching, this trend line. I do think we'll break it eventually and end up in this area, but Link is still strong. It's still holding its levels better than others. I mean, if Link was down here, we'd be concerned, right? But it's not. It's not down around the 11s. And the reason we would be concerned is because it would be the beginning of a fall, right? Like we're kind of giving back, and oh my, we've already gone from 16 to 11. We're just going to go further. Not to pick on Doge, and Doge isn't looking terrible. But let's see here. I'm not shouldn't pick on Doge. They've kind of experienced the same thing Link is, in that they've got this level right here to fill up, and I do think they will. But I can't. Kind of my point was. Let me go back to Link real quick. Where was Link at a 7? Yeah, Link is still 2 times as much as where they were, even after having given back what they've given back so far. So you're 2 times where you were back in October. And my point with Doge was 0.05 to be 2 times for Doge would be 0.1, and it's way below, and it still has to endure the weakness of Bitcoin. So that was kind of my point, is Doge went up percentage-wise much less than Link, and so it's already experienced a great fall, and it's got more to go in my opinion. Well, Link went up and held its highs and is doing pretty well as far as holding that. But there's still weakness, and I think we're going to have to endure that together. Be careful, be safe out there. Don't do anything dumb. You might get some good deals coming up on Chainlink here in the next few days or weeks across crypto altogether, because we just are experiencing, it's really a natural correction, but I'll call it weakness right now. It's not a crash, it's not a fall. It's just kind of retracement and correction, and we're seeing that across the board. All right, y'all be careful out there. I'll keep you updated on Chainlink.